is the text working?
Firstly, we just want to say thank you so much for so many people joining us. Just really goes to show the reach that these guys have on their YouTube, and we'll be talking about that in a little bit of time. A couple of quick introductions. I am Rebecca. Oh,
It's gone.
there we go.
We could have actually sat anywhere.
It is me. Okay, good. I co-host a podcast, but I am also a farmer from Yorkshire. We farm sheep in Arable. Before we introduce Ollie and Tom, who I suspect need no introduction, I would just like to say a big thank you to Kirby Tyres for hosting us here on their stand. Ollie unfortunately wasn't able to make it on our trip of a lifetime, but Tom and I went to the World Cup, Rugby World Cup with Kirby Tyres, which was unbelievable. There are videos of Tom dancing on tables in bars in Paris. They do exist. One formality, and I hate to be annoying, but please don't climb on the tyres. If somebody falls off, we don't want to deal with the forms and all of that stuff. So please don't climb on the tyres. There will hopefully be time for some questions at the end, and I'm hopefully going to come out and hand you the microphone. If you can introduce yourself, and we'll direct those to Tom and Ollie. The other point is, if you want to speak to Tom at the end, get yourself queued up here, and you'll be able to, pictures, what do you want?
Anything they want. It's really, really nice. Anything to a degree that my wife would allow. It's amazing that obviously so many people have turned up to say hello to us three. Rebecca, you're an amazing person on Instagram. She's a fantastic thing, and a big thank you to Kirby Tyres, like you said. The trip of a lifetime, unfortunately, Ollie, you were sadly missed. I was thinking about you at 2 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't. But yeah, it was fantastic. It was great, and I'm looking forward to seeing.
Absolutely. Oh, was that me?
I don't know. We're all back. Unfortunately, at the end, I've got to be on the FCN stand, which is just behind UTV lights at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So I will be going that way, but I'll be there for a good half an hour anyway if anyone wants to find me.
So, as I said, I'm sure most of you watch Ollie and Tom, or one or the other, on YouTube. If you don't watch them, quick introduction. Now, I asked the boys to send across a sentence to explain themselves. Ollie, straight to the point. Arable farmer from a very wet northwest. Fine, does the job. Tom, one of a kind, and I'm reading word for word here. One of a kind, legend before his time, hero to many, superstar farmer, and this bit was in capitals, so I don't know if I need to make some movie voice. Thomas Charles John Pemberton, everybody, okay? He's also a dairy farmer from Lancashire, but So, you love it.
No, it's because obviously Rebecca's normally the serious one. I'm Ollie, probably more me. I'm more a bit of an idiot, and I thought it'd be really funny if she read that out.
I'll do it justice though. No, maybe I should have got up and done it as though I was on a movie set.
If we could get on a tyre, that's what I want.
Well, let's get into a few questions, a bit of chat. The first thing I want to say, and anybody who does watch their videos, congratulations, both of you, both of your families, new dads. How on earth is that? Yeah, let's give a round of applause.
Well, if I fall asleep, you'll know why.
I was going to make some joke about, you look quite tired, both of you, but I thought that might not be ideal. But are you tired? What is it like?
I think the mums have got it worse, to be honest.
I'm glad you said that. But juggling farm life, you have had a day at work, and then you're not in at normal hours. How on earth do you juggle that with a baby? Tom, let's start with you. First baby.
Yeah. So everyone tells you it's going to be hard, and not to put anyone off, obviously. But yeah, it's really difficult. I love farming, and it's the best job ever. I kind of chat about it, whatever. It's unreal. So I'm there for 12, 13 hours a day, and then I come home twice a week, 3 times a week. I'll edit, and then I get really sleepy, so I'll fall asleep. I'll edit at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And now the problem is I have a baby that cries at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to sort the baby out, mix it all together, and then Joe obviously has had a C-section. That comes with its own complications, a lot of people know. So it's been, for me, it's been unreal. It's been fantastic. So in the mornings is the best. It's just chilled, loving life, and play with him. At night, when 90% of the time I come home at 6:30, she's done. Which is fair. So I need some help. Which it's difficult, but it is amazing. And we're really starting to come out into his own. He's only 8 weeks old. But yeah, he is class, and he's got a lot better. It's amazing how much they grow. And we know rearing calves, rearing animals. I know it sounds daft.
How does Joe feel you comparing your baby to a calf?
Yeah, so I've got a few things wrong actually. Temperature of a cow is anywhere from let me go into this. It's anywhere from 37.8 to like 39. We don't really worry about it. Joe had 38.1. I was like, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Went to the doctor and she was like, you have a high temperature. You need to get to hospital now. Got quite serious quite fast. And then now any of my points or any of my references to animals are invalid.
I do think it is difficult when your only sphere of reference over babies is animals and it is livestock, isn't it? And actually they function a bit differently. I would like to argue.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And obviously if a calf's feeding, you come back to it like not feeding, come back to it in about 2-3 hours or something like. You can't do that with babies. You have to make sure everyone's not crying. So yeah, it's hard work and someone just shouting at you, but it's class at the same time, and I'm so looking forward to them coming on the farm with me if they want to be a farmer. Yeah, super excited.
So we have just touched on YouTube there and editing, and that's difficult the best of times, but with a baby it's an added element. But I think most of you will be here because of YouTube. And we thought, thanks to these guys down here, it might be quite fun just to do a little bit of a competition at the start to see which channels you're subscribing to. So are we allowed to like do a cheer as to who's loudest? Is that allowed? Right. So yeah, guys can't miss out on
This is
the
so
video
embarrassing.
opportunity.
Can I just say, Tom rang me up and said, I need some straw. And he thought that we bed the baby down on straw. And I was like, no, you have to buy nappies, Tom.
Right. Are you guys ready? Official? Perfect.
This is a horrible game.
I don't care. I'm in charge. We're doing this. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is, if you subscribe to Olly, I want you to cheer after 3, and then we're going to do the same for Tom, okay?
This is Tom on one leg.
So, who subscribes to Olly's YouTube channel? 3, 2, 1.
I thought no one was going to do it then.
There was a slightly awkward pause.
Right, do we do this?
Okay, we're going to do the same for Tom. 3, 2, 1. Who was that?
I think it was just the same people.
But yeah, you all watch both of them. Great, no arguments.
I
Yeah?
think we take it as a draw. We're in the same industry, doing 2 different jobs.
Yeah, if you like cows, you watch Tom. If you like tractors, you watch me.
It is a good.
Simple, yeah?
It is a good point, but actually, those enterprises, people they might have them at home, or it might be about learning something else about something that you don't do much of at home. But just on those channels, and if people watch your
Actually, while we're doing a bit of a thing, put your hand up if you've learned something watching us.
Fantastic.
That's what we need.
And actually, my next question,
Right.
not being too formal, how did and why did the channel start? And I guess, were you setting out to help people learn? Was it to, I mean, we can't be shy about the fact that you earn an income from the YouTube channels. What was the reason for you?
It was the beginning of COVID, and I did some work for the BBC about the wet winter and how it come dry in the spring. And that day, the video that they did was quite educational because it was talking about putting wheat in the ground. So I put it out to share it as an educational piece and to show what was going on the farm. And then the next day I did it as a joke, and then they did it again as a joke, and it just carried on. So I wanted people to learn what happens on a farm, but it was very much a joke is why it happened really. I didn't even know you could earn money out of YouTube for a year.
And on that though, I think, people in farming have decided, I want to help people learn about the industry, and suddenly they do get a following. It's quite a minefield for farmers in that, am I going to say public-facing area, that area where lots of people can see what you're doing. It can be quite tricky to judge, I guess, particularly with you and livestock, Tom. What do you show?
Yeah, 100%. Like, you try and show as much as you can. And I think it's important to do it, like the good and the bad. We've had some fantastic things happen, filmed it great, woohoo, yay! And we've had some awful things happen, like last year we got TB, and that was horrendous. I've had cows break the legs, and it happens. And unfortunately, I've got to show it all. You can't just show the cows calving and like everything being sunshine and rainbows and the grass it's made. And And I think that was really, really important. And how I got into it a bit different, probably a bit differently. I've got a farm shop. I've got the milkshake vending machines, and like so we put those on. And what I was trying to do, if I'm honest, is advertise to live in St Anne's in Blackpool, and that's where I am. And I just always watch YouTube as a little lad, and then I put it on Facebook, put it on YouTube. YouTube didn't do very well, and then at that time it was 2016 when I first started. We're only doing it 8 years, May, and there was a lot of the stuff about like vegans and stuff and what farmers were doing, and then no one was really filming it because you know what we do, we just crack on because everyone's got to eat. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got to eat, so there's always going to be a market there. But then there was false advertising or false kind of footage of what was going on the farm. So I just thought, right, next video, this is how we rear calves, and this is why we take the calves off the mums. This is what happens to them, you know. And I think that's really, really important because the first bit sounds horrendous, but then when you see it and you kind of explain it, I think then they get to understand. And the world isn't this fantastic rainbows of sunshine that I chat about. It's not. You know, things do go wrong. Things have got to happen to put food on your plate. And I think that was what I grew into. But to start with, I was just advertising what we did on our farm to push sales for the farm shop and stuff.
Yeah. And Ollie, anyone you look up to on YouTube, you're making videos, you just think, oh gosh, editing today is going to be a real drag. Anyone you look up to and think, I'm gonna grow my channel, I'm gonna do a good job, I'm gonna keep going at this. Apart from Tom, obviously.
Well, Tom's obviously helped me when I didn't know what I was doing in the beginning, but I'll be honest, I don't really watch YouTube. I can go months without turning the TV on. I don't have the time. Like people think because they see it on YouTube, it means you watch YouTube. I literally don't, and I read messages on Instagram and I put pictures on it, but I don't really see what's going on Instagram. Yeah. And that's the weird thing. You were in this social media bubble, but you're looking at out, not in it. So, yeah, it's, you know, for me, the biggest amount of time I spend is editing a video, but if that takes me more than 15 minutes, I'm getting annoyed, I'm bored, I want to be doing something else. Yeah, and that's why I do a video every day, because it means I only have to edit every day a small bit. If I did the combine run and I tried to edit like the highlights of that, it took me like 3 hours. And
you now know my pain.
Yeah, well, I just do it every day, it's easier. It's all in order then.
Okay, so we mentioned it at the start, Ollie, introducing you from a very wet northwest. Looking around this room, I know we've got loads of farmers here. The weather has been unprecedented. It has caused massive challenges on your guys' farms, but on I would suggest lots of people's farms here. What are the challenges it's bringing you on farm, and are you making noticeable decision-making changes because of the weather?
Oh yeah, I mean, we just have to get wider tyres for everything. No, to be honest, we always have it wet in the northwest. Yes, this year, so 2023, my dad, I don't know what it was about, but he was saying that we had 13 inches of rain in the first 6 months, but 30 inches in the last 6 months. So on record, it wasn't actually a wet year for us, but from June, it did rain pretty much every day. I wish it had rained in June because I would have had a better wheat yield, but you know, we're trying to do new things. You know, I'm trying to grow 2 crops a year, which helps with the wet summers. You know, you can put a crop in and you can get the moisture to get it out of the ground. But is it climate change or just weather? I don't really know. I mean, climate is changing. Can we stop it? I don't think so. Probably controversial, but that's my opinion.
I agree with you there about the weather and how many inches of rain you get. It normally stays about the same. It doesn't fluctuate crazy. It's just when you get it and where you get it. And it's how we've chatted about this a while, and a lot of people will know it's how you control the water. Do you know, my dad used to tank every week, slurry-wise. We didn't used to have storage. You know, back when he was getting grants and he was putting money into slurry equipment, it was all about spreading it, and it wasn't about storing it. So it's just interesting the way we've changed, the way we've developed. And I know we keep blaming other people, but it is, we can see it, we've seen it, stuff not getting done, cuts getting made. And it's not the farmer, it's out of our hands. Obviously, we've got to do the best we can.
So you mentioned that, and I did actually write that down. I don't know if it's a bit dramatic to use the phrase, a farmer's sacrificial lambs, but that's kind of how it feels when it comes to land being flooded, which is used for food production. And I appreciate that there are settlements, there's houses, etc., to say that nobody deserves to be flooded. But why do farmers have to keep taking this flack every single time?
Well, there's two kinds of flooding. There's flooding that could be prevented, which is a lot of it if we started dredging again. And if anyone from the Vimates is listening, it doesn't move the problem downstream because you start downstream. So we'll just get that out there. But there's flooding that can be prevented by dredging, and then there's flooding that sometimes you can't because the sheer volume is there. Now, it obviously does make sense to store it on farmland rather than in someone's front living room and wrecking the telly and the carpet. But that's costing us money, and it's saving someone else money, whether that be an insurance company, a council, or agency. So they don't call it sacrificial lamb; they call it public money for public good, and that just needs to be recognised. And to be perfectly honest, it is starting to be in the new round of SFI payments that have come out.
Okay, so we've got bad weather. Farmers aren't necessarily at the top of the priorities for decision making, maybe. Are we going to keep producing food? Are we going to keep putting that land into wheat every year? Should we be making our sheds industrial units? Are we just going to put solar panels on the fields? What does it look like?
What does it look like? Well, I personally think...
Sorry, that's quite a big hard question.
It's a huge question, that.
Yeah, sorry.
But I personally think it's like before COVID happened, we didn't need to produce our own food. And I think it was Boris Johnson at the time said we could just import it. And then COVID happened and everyone was like, okay, farmers are important now, and they remember it. Unfortunately, people probably need to go hungry in this country. You know what I mean? We're not hungry as they would be, as other countries are. And that's the really unfortunate thing. And then everyone's going to go, we might have made a mistake there. And I think that's what it's going to be. We struggle to feed the world as it is. And obviously, us being in the UK, we're not massive. But we can grow some good grass and we can grow good crops. But if we keep putting it into like trees or these kind of set aside fields, it's going to be a disaster. Maybe not in our lifetime, but maybe in our kids' lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's actually, like we're talking about the rain being a bad thing, but we are incredibly lucky that it does rain because a drought is worse than anything. And that's what's cost me money over the years. But some countries, they don't get rain. Australia, there's bits of it where they're actually going to stop farming now because they're not getting the rain. And it's criminal, really, to not use our land, our productive climate to its full potential, because anything we don't grow here, we've got to import from somewhere else where water's more scarce. And that's just morally not right, really.
Definitely. So we've mentioned a few issues on farms. It does seem quite negative at the moment. One question I want to ask you, Olly, it's come across a question through my Instagram. Somebody asked about the situation with loans and interest, and it's something that you talk a lot about, and I think importantly. But the question from somebody over your Instagram was, how are your bank managers treating you, and how do you feel about this relationship? Because it's absolutely vital, and I'll touch on obviously the fact we're at Lamma. This is the home of investment, isn't it? Where are you at with your bank manager?
I have a really good relationship with him. I must have been in my house for a week over the last 4 months. I mean, I've just invested in a new farm, so there's a bit of that. But also when we were running the numbers from this harvest to get to next harvest, there was obviously a shortfall from the drought, from increased interest rates, and we just had the conversation. What do we need to do now? If you owe the bank 100 grand, it's your problem. If you owe $1 million, it's theirs. And if you owe a bit more, they work for you. And to be fair, they do. I'm running a business. They're running a business. They make money out of me. I make money by borrowing money off them, and we just work together. And everything's open. This is where we are. This is what's come good. This is what's come bad. The nice thing for me is we have diversification, so the weather doesn't come into it. There's cash flow without rain or drought. And also, because we don't have animals, it's a little bit easier to predict. You've got people that are struggling to borrow money now because you've got insurance for avian flu. The pig industry went through hard times. We don't need to mention dairy. Tom can talk about that. But no, a good bank and a good relationship with a bank. I mean, it's called, it was called Yorkshire, but now it's called Virgin Money. And honestly, I can't speak highly enough of them because they're brilliant.
So I can add to that because us as a farming business at home, we had a terrible relationship with the bank. And then I might have helped Ollie with his YouTube, but Ollie's helped us massively. And you said that to me about the 100,000 and the million. But the other thing as well is it's not the bank, you're just banking with the wrong bank. And we went to Virgin Money, funny enough, and they're fantastic. And if you've got a problem, you can just chat to them. Unfortunately, we're not. We've been with them for about 2 years now, and they've been really, really good. It used to be. We used to be the bank manager. It used to be horrific. Mum used to hate it. We didn't understand farming. We didn't understand how it works and the kind of our kind of business, how we kind of just write stuff off and how it works, And then now we go with Virgin, and it's easy. I now ring someone, and they answer the phone, or they ring me that day. Unreal, and I can't tell you how good it is. So we changed banks, and I'll tell you who it is. I couldn't care less. It's HSBC. We used to be with. They were awful, and I'm so sorry.
There's nobody from HSBC here.
You can chat to me if you want. But so we changed banks, and they rung me 2 weeks after, going, "Oh yeah, we'll organise that meeting that you wanted." 2 weeks after we changed banks, it took them about a month, 6 weeks. It was just horrendous. So we've changed now, and I think that's important.
Yeah.
If anyone else is struggling, have a word with Olly or myself and get to a different bank, and it will help you out so much.
Other banks are available, and I noticed Oxford have sponsored something down there, so we will just mention them because they did finance me very well.
I'm sorry about that, but we've had pain for it. We've gone through. My mum and dad have gone through a lot more than what I have. I'm only 31, and they've gone through a lot more. So technically, what I've done to be able to push through social media and develop and stuff, everything we've gone through, we've invested in, and I know they've been through a bit of pain with it. It's annoying. It's annoying, and it's amazing. It's like a breath of fresh air. You change, and you're like, "Oh, this is how it works."
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry, run
How's your blood pressure there?
Let's actually talk a bit about Lamma, and if you've had a chance to walk around, what?
You're joking. I've already gone from there to there.
My next question is, what have you seen that looks exciting? What do you think in 5 years, 10 years, 50 years we're all going to be on board with? What's exciting that you've seen?
I'll be honest, there's not anything that other than them tyres over there to go on low loaders. I've not seen anything I've not seen before, but that might be because it was at Agri. So there was like a launch of a tractor. But while you were playing rugby balls, I saved me time to go there. No, a lot of this stuff was sort of debuted in November, wasn't it? But yeah, I mean, there's a pretty cool gold tractor there, but I've not seen that before. But no, I don't know. I need to have a proper mooch around.
What do you think we might be using on our farms then? If it was at Agri then, what things are exciting that you saw there? We need something to be excited about. Come on, we just had a bit of a...
I have something exciting that's coming out very soon.
Go on.
So in slurry, they're now taking the phosphorus out and the nitrogen out, and then having dirty water as an excess. There's now separation that they're developing, so they can take all the features out of it, the environment you don't like, which is class. We're going to work with them, and then you've got pure nitrogen to a degree, pure phosphorus, because it all helps grow grass. I think that is exciting. The development, it's not there yet, but something as a dairy farmer as well. We have lots of slurry. It sounds amazing.
Well, I've just seen a nice big quad track around the corner. I think it was well cool. All that green belter over there.
Okay, right. We've got a bit of positivity from Olly now. I was going to not direct this next question to you, but are you confident in the industry? We've got technology at our fingertips, innovation. We've got companies who, from the looks of it, are actually working for us and to help us. Are you excited or confident?
If you'd have asked me that 3 months ago, I would have said no. And I think we've always been a bit like, RPA, single farm payments, DEFRA, they don't know what's going on. But if you actually look at the details around their SFI scheme that they've got now, that has been a saviour to me this year, because we've been able to adapt some of what we're doing in a way that it's better for everyone, and we're going to be rewarded for it, which is basically like a backstop on the farm. It's locking in a little bit of profit per acre before we've even started, which is something we've never really been able to do for a long time.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an option for a lot of farms, even if you would be considered quite high performing. There's still going to be years where, as you say, you do need that security. I guess.
I mean, if we lived, in a bit better climate, we wouldn't be so bothered. But in the northwest, we do have a struggle. I'm in the northwest where you get a lot of rain, and you could probably grow quite a lot of veg, but I haven't got the soil type for that. So I'm in that tricky bit where you're trying to grow cereals. Yeah. But if you get that dry weather, you're knackered, and if you get the rain at the wrong time, it's knocked it down as well. Yeah. So no, I don't know whether they're really desperate, but I'm really excited actually. We're going to try and grow 2 crops a year, one for them and one for me.
Well, it's worth a shot, isn't it? Let's change the subject a bit, Tom. Let's talk TV and the fast and the farmer-ish. This was actually prompted. thanks to people on Instagram who sent me questions, because it has, formed a bit of this and made life a bit easy. Somebody wants to know when you're going head to head in a fast and farmerish competition. When are we going to get you two together?
That would be great. So I actually put it to them, like the final episode, to get some like YouTubers, Instagrammers, and I thought it'd be really, really cool, and we could go against each other, like maybe 6 of us and have a proper competition. If I beat Ollie, I don't think he'd let it down. Well, I wouldn't let it down too, ever. I think it'd be fantastic. It would be great to watch. It'd be a good laugh. Like, we could set it up ourselves with the camera power that they have. Like, you obviously use a phone, I use a GoPro, and that's it.
Yeah.
But the camera power they have is fantastic. If we could kind of chat to them and make it work, it would be great. Just have a laugh.
And actually, a program like that, you'd hope, shows farming in a bit more of a fun and positive light. And actually, we do need consumers and the public to, however it is, get engaged with what we're doing on farming. And if we need a light-hearted program like that, then so be it. But I guess moving on from that, what I want to touch on is Clarkson's Farm, which I'm sure is a word on people's lips all the time whilst we're on TV. How vital is it that we have somebody like that who has that, I guess, that reach into the mainstream to help get our messages out there?
Yeah, Clarkson's reached people that we never could. But the good thing about Clarkson is he calls a spade a spade. He isn't scared of being told off, basically. He will call it how it is, which is great. It's what we need, because he's got a big voice, he's got a big car, he's got a big following.
You call a spade though as well, Ollie, and talking about the reach of YouTube, the reach of TV, you're obviously still quite vocal on other social media platforms, even getting things trending on Twitter or whatever we're meant to call it now. It is important, isn't it, that we're not just farmers on our farms and not engaging. We do need to try and get out there.
Yeah, but what is sad, it's the bad news that gets the reach, and it's the bad news that trends. You could say, I've just got this field of wheat and it's been absolutely perfect, or we've just done this and hasn't it grown really well. It might get like 70 likes. If you have a rant because someone's fly tipped in your gateway, it'll get like 7,000 likes and be shared millions of times. And people love a bit of negativity, which is it's sad, really. But
that is us as a generation or a population. If something good happens, but it's like bad news travels fast. That's just a generation. That's just what we are and how we are. If it bleeds, it leads. It sounds shocking, but it's true. Like the news, my sister doesn't watch the news anymore. She can't bother. There's no point. But they know that sells, yes. And they don't know that's what people want to watch.
Absolutely. And talking about people, we haven't touched much on the people in our industry. Are we looking after people? I'm sure most people here are working in agriculture. Are we looking after them well enough?
I think so. I think we're getting better. I'm thinking about health and safety side, because at the Clarkson Farm, a couple of health and safety.
Remember the tyres? Everybody knows who's climbing at the back, are they?
Yeah, you see. The Clarkson Farm
roll them off.
A couple of health and safety things happened, and they got a little bit called out for it. But it was great because it kind of showed it, and it kind of showed real farming. Sometimes I say real farming because there's another program that struggles to show that now. Do you know what I mean? I think you've got to. The Clarkson was great. I'm sorry for going back to it because it showed it. Looking after staff-wise, I think we are getting better. Yeah. We're great because we do the social media. We film ourselves, and the best thing about that is sometimes, and I've spotted a lot of people here who've just said hello. Is it like, say, a hill farmer or a farmer who's in his tractor cab all day, doesn't really have someone to chat to, because it can be quite lonely, the job. And then if they watch our videos and something goes wrong, and they kind of go, all right, well, they have a bad day as well. It's not just me, I'm not on my own. And I think what social media has done in the last 10 years has really opened that up, and that's been fantastic, because these, hill farmers or farmers on their own, they're not on their own, things go wrong. And I think it's, you'll know when something goes wrong on YouTube, you're probably going to get more clicks on it.
Yeah, the video that was something going wrong is definitely better than one something going right. But one thing that we're not good at is having the finances to pay staff better, or have more staff than we need, so people can have more days off. Yeah. And that, I don't know how we ever get around that at the moment.
But I think we talk about, we can't get the staff in. And you're right, we have to go back to the reason we can't get them in. And ultimately, we just need to be paid more for our stuff to be able to afford it. Ultimately, people are going to go for a better work-life balance and a better wage. It is as simple as that, and we can't blame them for it.
100%. I think you can deliver for Amazon for about 14 quid an hour, And like that's a lot of money. Like,
You're in a warm van.
yeah, and then when you finish, when you start, you don't
Yeah.
work weekends, you can choose to.
Yeah.
We employ 25 people, and that's when the minimum wage goes up. If we just got someone stacking the shelves and up or something, it's really hard for us as a small business, and it's so difficult because the farmer normally doesn't take a wage out of the farm. They normally pay the employees, and what they've got is an asset at the end,
Yes.
and that's the difficulty.
And I think for me personally, one of the real things that I struggle with is that the perception is farmers love their job. They're outside, in the outdoors with their animals. Therefore, but they enjoy it. It's fine. We wouldn't expect other people to be paid in enjoyment. I think it makes the public just feel better about themselves.
Yeah, enjoying your job doesn't pay the electric bill, does it?
Absolutely.
That's the thing.
So, we're talking about money. This is a bit of an off-the-wall question. Imagine money doesn't exist and time means nothing. Tomorrow you're going back to the farm, or maybe the day after. What change are you making? What one change? Is it enterprise? Is it management? Infrastructure kit? What does it look like?
Well, if we had loads of money,
Loads of money
I'd
and
fly a
time.
helicopter so I could check the field more efficiently.
You really want that helicopter, don't you? Yeah.
Have you done a helicopter license? Whatever you need.
No, but I've got to work out how I'm going to pay for it first. Wait for interest rates to drop.
Tom,
I don't know. I really
are you happy with where the farm is?
Yeah, so I've been so fortunate talking on the money side, and I don't think I'm quiet about it. Like, I wouldn't be able to do the things I do on the farm without YouTube. It's fantastic. Like we've been doing it 7 years now, and before then, we couldn't invest on the farm. We didn't invest in the farm. We took a loan out to put the farm shop on, and that was the big push. And then, fortunately, been able to generate an income through YouTube, and then just put it back into the farm. So I'm so glad I had those few years, 10 years beforehand, and I really do appreciate the value of the pound. So I can now invest it in, and then I wouldn't have dreamt of where I am now. So it sounds daft, and what's been great about it. It's been really hard work, but it's been satisfying, and I'm very, very fortunate. And there's a lot of people putting more work than I am, and they don't get it because they're just putting it into the farm and not diversificating. That's huge. If you're a small farm, I think that's the way we've got to go. We've got to diversify, like Olly has, like we do. And my granddad started that in 1950 or something, and put that kind of energy into me. That if money was an object, I probably would do the things I want to develop now, but I've got those in the plan, and it's great because I've worked hard at it, and I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.